husband had working for our community. I worked for Lake Orion Schools as a bus driver for 17 years. I also worked at Lake Orion Police Department as a 911 police dispatcher for 28 years. My husband spent 40 years coaching Little League, high school, in various high schools around. He became sort of a legend. In June of 2010, my husband and I applied and became card-holding medical marijuana patients by the state of Michigan. For me, acute arthritis in my knees and hands, and him for bone spurs in both of his shoulders, which limited his range of motion to he could only raise his hands to his waist. In June, after receiving our recommendation from a physician, we began to grow 20 medical marijuana plants in the basement of our house. It's important to note that neither my husband or I smoked marijuana. Rather, we chose to consume it as medibles, as we both found it had longer pain-relieving results. I myself am allergic to aspirin, so no anti-inflammatory will work, and it was tearing up my stomach. My husband was also having a problem. They had given him Vicodin, Oxycontin, anything else. This worked so much better, and it was so much easier for us to consume without the side effects. In August, our home, with multiple others, including both my son's homes, also medical marijuana patients, were raided by masked gun-wielding police, Oakland County, Michigan's Narcotic Enforcement Task Team. These men looked and acted more like soldiers than police officers. In this raid of our home, it was torn to pieces, mattresses ripped apart, clothing thrown to the floor, cabinets emptied, plants ripped from their pots, and dirt all over even my beds. Approximately $11,270 was taken from my home, as we had just taken money out of the bank to purchase a vehicle on Monday. The raid occurred on Wednesday. My two sons' homes were raided at the same time, where no more than a quarter ounce of marijuana was taken from either residence. Guns were put into my daughter-in-law's face. Her pet was threatened to be killed because he was barking. A neighbor of my son was brave enough to come to my house. I was not home at the time. My husband was there. He ran after he found out that they were holding guns to my daughter-in-law, and hoping that my 4- and 6-year-old grandchildren were not there at the time. He left his wallet on the table with $270, grabbed his keys, and ran from the house. When he came back home, he saw that law enforcement was in my house. He asked for a search warrant. They laughed at him and said he'd get it before they left. Upon leaving, they threw it in his face. He was scheduled for a total hip replacement 4 days after the raid on our home. The surgery was a great success, and he began his recovery. The day of our preliminary exam, September 2nd, while my children and I were traveling to court, we received the call from the hospital that my husband of 46 years had passed away from a heart attack. Our belief is that it was due to the stress from watching his wife and kids being wrongly prosecuted by an overzealous prosecutor and sheriff. In the preliminary exam and subsequent appearances in front of Oakland County judges, these officials have decided that my home can't be considered a closed, locked facility. So I am able to use the medical marijuana law as my defense. Other judges also decided I could not use the affirmative defense. This predicament left me to be tried as a woman growing marijuana. My attorney and I were advised that we could not use the word medical marijuana, patient, caregiver, or allude to the fact that I was licensed by the state of Michigan. I also watched multiple other jury trials as prosecutors and judges collude to withhold this information from juries. On Tuesday, June 2nd, I was found guilty by a jury that was not allowed to know that I am a state-sanctioned medical marijuana patient and caregiver. You could believe that they had a horrible time seating that jury as one person after another got up and told the judge and prosecutor they didn't see anything wrong with marijuana and could not be impartial with the jury. It took them a long time to find people who would find me guilty, but they did. Am I sad? Yes. Am I disappointed with a jury that convicted me? No. I'm furious with a bad judicial system called Oakland County. After working on the side of the law for 28 years, to see the lies, the deceit, and the truth admitted from the jury have left me stunned. I think now it's time to get every medical marijuana case removed from Oakland County because you'll never get a fair trial there. My story, as hard as it is to believe, is just one of the millions of stories of people who are suffering under this failed drug war. I've lost my husband, my freedom, and for what? Thank you for coming today, and please join Michigan Moms United because together we can bring down this unjust system. I will fight for my husband, Sal, until I can't fight any longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. That was really touching. If you didn't know Barb's story before, now you do. I had an expression in my household growing up, which was, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And I think that, that's why, Mad Mothers Against Drunk Drivers turned everyone against drunk drivers. That's why, other organized groups of moms fighting towards one cause has helped, propel so many other movements. I think that with these mothers right here, you really have to give it up for them because they've taken this as an opportunity to deviate from the restrictive conventions that our society has put in place. They're more worried about drug policy affecting their kids in a negative way than the actual drugs, which is understandable. And if you look at any of the facts and statistics, and if you look at it from a logical standpoint, there's no reason they should be more worried about the actual drugs than the drug policy. Denise talked about how she didn't want to see a disintegration of this movement, and I would be heartbroken to see that myself. And I think that the disintegration, would possibly happen. This isn't about legalizing marijuana. This is about a broader picture, with more drugs involved. I think that the most classist and racist drug policies are regarding, crack cocaine and heroin and methamphetamine. Other bumps in the road, that could lead to this disintegration would be the same, things that are the root of our opposition, which is monetary gain. I think that, money has, caused a lot of the drug policies we see now, and it, has just been a lot of, different legislators with mixed up priorities and unethical practices. I really want to thank all of you guys for coming out tonight, and I really want to urge you guys to stay active and stay mobile, because you guys are here, but we're here for the people that aren't here. And I think that they're the most important. They're the ones that need more information, they need more drive, they need more protection, they need more, information about what is going on in the, the environment around them regarding the drugs they use, their, friends and family's drug use. So I think, unless, Chuck, did you want to speak by chance? Or no?
He ain't here.
All right. I don't think we're going to wait for Representative Durhal to show up. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it for one reason or another, but ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Ream.
Thank you very much, everybody. I didn't know that I was going to speak today, but it's always a great honor to speak here. We know that the drug war is the greatest affront to American liberty that we have seen in our time or has really appeared since the time of Jim Crow. I watched recently the Memorial Day celebrations on the television, how we are the land of the free, the home of the brave. At least I know I'm free, the guy sang. And I thought, where does he live? What is he doing? What is he thinking? This is the United States of America, where we put together the greatest prison system ever seen on the face of the earth, with 25% of all the prisoners on earth are here in the United States when we just got 4.8% of the population. What were they thinking about when they said land of the free, home of the brave? It's not our country anymore, and we've got to take it back. This drug war was put together to